Seattle's waste crisis isn't just a future problem. The region's main landfill now towers at 830 feet, swallowing nearly 1 million tons of trash each year, with its last major expansion already nearing the limit. If diversion stalls and capacity runs out by 2026, what happens to everything the city throws away? The real danger isn't what you have heard, it's what is about to happen next. Cedar Hills Regional Landfill sprawls across 920 acres in the hills east of Seattle, a footprint larger than many city neighborhoods. Each year, nearly 1 million tons of waste arrive, enough to fill an entire football stadium more than 1,400 times. The landfill's elevation now reaches 830 feet above sea level, a man-made summit built from decades of discarded material. This isn't a static mountain. Trucks haul in fresh loads every day, pushing the boundaries of what the site can contain. Within the landfill, waste is divided into massive sections known as cells. The current active area, Cell 8, is rapidly approaching its designed limit. According to King County's 2024 Solid Waste Annual Report, Cell 8 is projected to reach capacity by 2026. That deadline isn't a distant threat. It is less than 2 years away. To buy time, the county approved a 34-acre expansion and raised the maximum height by 30 feet. Even with these changes, the entire site is expected to close by 2040, at which point all available space will be exhausted. The numbers reveal the scale of the challenge. Over 931,000 tons were buried in 2017 alone, and the annual average has only increased since then. Cedar Hills serves more than 1.4 million residents from King County's cities and suburbs, handling the bulk of the region's solid waste. With Cell 8's closure looming, and the next phases already mapped for preparation, the countdown to maximum capacity has become a matter of public record, not speculation. The data points to a simple truth. The landfill's physical limits are no longer an abstract concern. They are a hard, measurable deadline. Seattle Public Utilities manages the city's solid waste with a system designed to keep local landfills from reaching crisis. Instead of relying on Cedar Hills, Seattle routes its garbage through 2 major transfer stations, north and south, where waste is compacted and loaded onto trains. These trains carry thousands of tons each week to out-of-county sites, such as the Columbia Ridge landfill in Oregon. This export pathway, locked in by long-term contracts, insulates Seattle from the immediate capacity crunch facing King County's landfill. But the story doesn't end at the city limits. Both Seattle and King County maintain a web of environmental controls to keep contaminants in check. At Cedar Hills, a network of engineered liners and sump systems sits beneath every active cell. These barriers are designed to capture leachate, the chemical-laced liquid that forms as rainwater filters through layers of trash. Pumps draw this liquid into holding tanks, and from there, it is sent to regional treatment plants for processing. Monitoring wells, spaced around the landfill perimeter, are sampled throughout the year. According to King County's reports from 2024 and 2025, no leachate has breached these barriers or reached groundwater in the past 2 years. Seattle's closed South Park landfill, now under remediation, follows a similar protocol. Quarterly monitoring records from 2024 and early 2025 confirm that groundwater samples remain within state safety limits. These results offer reassurance, but they also highlight the narrow margin for error. As waste volumes climb and landfill space tightens, the pressure on these engineered safeguards will only increase. For now, the official record shows no active overflow or toxic leaks, but the margin between control and crisis is shrinking. Janet Dobrowolski has lived on the edge of the Cedar Hills landfill for more than 3 decades. She remembers when the landfill's boundary felt distant, buffered by woods and fields. Now the edge of the waste mound looms just beyond her backyard fence, rising higher every year. Janet describes the summer evenings when a sour chemical smell drifts through open windows, lingering in the air and clinging to laundry hung outside. In 2022, she and a group of neighbors filed a complaint with King County, citing persistent odors and concerns about air quality. The county logged dozens of odor calls that year, but the official response pointed to compliance with methane standards and no regulatory violations. Downstream, a Green River farmer named Tom worries about what the future holds for his irrigation water. He's seen county trucks sampling at the riverbank, but he says he rarely hears about the results. After heavy rains, he notices the water runs cloudy, and he wonders aloud if runoff from the landfill could end up in his fields. Tom's family has farmed this land for generations, and the possibility of contamination keeps him up at night. Both Janet and Tom echo a common frustration. They want stronger monitoring and clearer answers about what is happening beneath their feet. For residents and farmers living in the landfill's shadow, the risk is not just theoretical, it is personal, measured in the air they breathe and the water they depend on. Concerns over landfill safety in King County did not arise in a vacuum. In the 1970s, pollution from Cedar Hills reached Mason Creek, contaminating water and drawing the attention of the Washington Department of Ecology. At that time, the landfill lacked modern liners and leachate controls, allowing runoff to seep into the local environment. The Department of Ecology responded by requiring King County to install a leachate collection system and by issuing a waste discharge permit in 1977. Even after these upgrades, compliance was not always consistent. Court orders in the 1980s demanded daily cover of waste and better leachate management, but reports from the period show that standards were sometimes missed and groundwater monitoring was incomplete. These lapses left a lasting impression on nearby communities. The memory of Mason Creek's contamination still shapes how residents view the landfill's operations. Today, the Department of Ecology holds the authority to issue, renew, or revoke permits for Cedar Hills, setting strict requirements for monitoring wells, leachate treatment, and surface water protection. Civic groups like the Georgetown Community Council and South Park Neighborhood Association have pressed for greater transparency, tracking policy decisions and pushing for public disclosure of monitoring data. While current reports show no active advisories or confirmed contamination, the legacy of past failures continues to drive skepticism. For many, official assurances are not enough. Oversight is only trusted when backed by rigorous, independent checks. King County's Solid Waste Division holds the keys to Cedar Hills, but the ultimate decisions come from the County Council. In November 2022, council members voted 5-2 to approve the latest expansion. It was an expensive move that extended the landfill's life, but it did not resolve the long-term dilemma. The minority on the council, including Councilmember Lambert, warned that the plan was short-sighted and failed to address the need for alternatives. The county auditor has since flagged the financial risks, projecting that capital costs tied to landfill operations could exceed $1.36 billion by 2040. Meanwhile, proposals for a waste-to-energy facility remain on the table, but even the most optimistic timeline puts completion at least a decade away. Every year of delay raises the stakes, as taxpayers remain on the hook for mounting infrastructure costs and the burden of future cleanup. With each council vote and budget cycle, the region's options narrow, and the cost of inaction grows heavier. Waste diversion programs have slowed the pace of landfill filling, but recent data shows the RE+ initiative has plateaued, with recycling rates no longer keeping up with King County's rising waste stream. Technical studies from Arcadis and University of Washington engineers point to a menu of immediate and long-term options. In the short term, landfill managers can upgrade leachate pump systems to handle higher volumes, expand interim caps over exposed waste to limit rainwater infiltration, and increase the frequency and reach of groundwater monitoring wells. These steps buy time and reduce the risk of chemical migration beyond the landfill's boundaries. For the longer view, King County is weighing a shift to waste-to-energy incineration, but the Arcadis study cautions that placing such a facility at Cedar Hills would face space and permitting hurdles, and even the fastest timeline projects a decade before operation. Meanwhile, enhanced diversion, such as bans on organics and trash, expanded producer responsibility, and stricter construction debris sorting, could further slow the march toward full capacity. These options, laid out in county reports and engineering assessments, offer a spectrum of remedies, but each comes with trade-offs in cost, complexity, and public acceptance. Right now, every bag of trash tests the limits of a system nearly out of room. As regional landfills edge toward capacity, hard choices can't wait. Where waste goes next will shape Seattle's future. How we handle it says everything about the world we want to live in.